Rewind that. A man who spent nearly 2 years locked up, whose last engagement evaporated in a New Year's Eve interview, whose baby mama just posted a mocking story about a Lewis bag. This same man is standing in a jewelry store, measuring a ring finger, saying 9.5, no, 8.5, to a woman he met on a Twitch stream 14 months ago. And she's pregnant, and he's calling her the Golden Goose. And Chad is watching it live like it's a Netflix rollout. Y'all, I don't even know where to start. So let's start where nobody else did, at the receipt drawer. Real quick, if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn the bell on, because the next 48 hours of this saga are going to move faster than any of us can keep up with, and I'd hate for you to miss the part where it all folds in on itself. Alright, Jonathan Michael Porter, known to the timeline as Blueface, hit a jewelry store with his girlfriend, Nevaeh Akira, born Akira Williams, on a livestream shopping trip that popped up across Instagram and TikTok in the last few days. He had her finger measured, 8.5, adjusted down to 7.5 for pregnancy swelling. Declared this would be both of our first marriage, promised no divorce, called her the best thing that ever happened, said he'd been meaning to give her a big fat wedding ring for her big fat fingers, and in the same breath, told Chat he'd also make her co-host. Not permanent though. He was clear about that part. Now watch the rest of the room instead of the ring. Let me pull the receipts before I say one word about what they mean. From the shopping livestream itself, straight out his mouth. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. You're the one for me. Cool. Very sweet. Cinematic even. Beat later, same stream, no interruption. She would sign that. Hell yeah. I wouldn't give. She would just be happy to be married like she's supposed to be. Okay, I'ma just let that sit there. Then, per an Instagram clip from the Shade Room circulating in the last stretch, Blueface reminded Nevaeh on a separate stream, his words, not mine, that he knows she's only with him for the money. Same guy, same girl, different sentence, different weather. Pull back further. Complex confirmed the pregnancy after Blueface found out on stream. In real time, they called it. And the fine print of that story is that this reveal came shortly after the rapper alleged he cut her from the roster. Roster, not relationship. Roster. Now compare that to what Blueface said about the other woman he proposed to. October 2023, Rams game, one knee, per vibe. Jaidyn is the only female I would ever get on one knee for. This ain't no publicity stunt. TF, I'm a marry somebody for clout for. Dry laugh. I'm not writing the caption. I'm just putting them next to each other. One more. Hot new hip-hop, a couple months later, quoting Jaidyn Alexis at a New Year's party. Engagement's off, she's single, she's focusing on herself. The ring outlived the relationship by about 8 weeks. That's the quote bank. No analysis. Just the tape. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Blueface was released from a California facility on or around November 2nd, 2025, after serving what Hot 97 described as nearly 4 years stemming from a probation violation tied to a 2021 assault case. Parole eligibility got moved up. He walked. First IG Live back was the Swagger Tour. By mid-December, roughly 6 weeks out the gate, Nevaeh's Instagram story is going viral because fans think she's pregnant. His mom addresses it on Hot 97. By spring, it's confirmed. He's on Twitch when he finds out. Not a doctor's office. A stream. Between the release and the ring measurement, roll the calendar. Twitch bans him permanently over a slur per XXL. He pivots to Kick. Monetization is choppy. Nevaeh becomes a fixture on camera. The lie detector test gets announced. Then the location leak. Instagram documented. Blueface allegedly loses it because Nevaeh reads the address on stream. The polygraph gets scrapped per YouTube coverage. Then the ring shopping. Hold on, back up. This is the part that's the part. The ring shopping isn't the beginning of a proposal arc. It happens after a canceled lie detector during an active pregnancy, while the Twitch situation has already collapsed, while the Kick numbers are what they are, while Jaidyn is publicly airing grievances about a Lewis bag on Facebook and IG, while Chrisean is in her own orbit doing wedding announcement content, per her TikTok. That's the frame. A ring measurement in the middle of 5 other storylines that all need oxygen. The word coincidence doesn't apply. The word content does. Zoom in. I had to rewatch this 3 times. The finger swap. He measures the wrong finger first. Middle finger, index, thumb. Chat's laughing. He's laughing. Nevaeh is laughing. Fat finger jokes. It plays cute. But listen to the sizing conversation. 8.5, but right now, because you're pregnant, you might lose the finger. 7.5, but retaining between 8.5. Retaining. The word he used was retaining. That's not a boyfriend word. That's an inventory word. He's sizing the ring for a version of her that hasn't happened yet. The postpartum version, whether that's romance or logistics, is a Rorschach test. The dress conversation. She asked for red. No. She asked for black. No. White dress, traditional. Jump the broom. Now, this is the same man who, minutes earlier, told chat this be their first wedding. But Chrisean Rock, per her own TikTok, announced a marriage to Blueface with a November 2nd date attached, and there's still no legal proof that ever actually filed per iArt. So when Blueface calls this his first, he's technically correct, because nothing before it was ever legally binding. Read it twice. That's not a slip. That's a receipt. The telling aside. In the same stream. This is verbatim from the raw audio. He says, she's genuine right now. You got to get the genuineness out first, because you know after so long, all this social attention, these turn into fake anyway. Real talk. That's not a man planning a wedding. That's a man planning a window. There's a shelf life baked into the sentence. He's not saying forever. He's saying right now. That right there might be the most honest thing said in the entire live stream. Now watch how this ricochets across outlets. The Shade Room frames it as a red flag reminder. She's only with him for the money, per his own words. Their comment section reads it as a warning to Nevaeh. Complex plays it clinical. Pregnancy confirmed, timeline noted, cut from the roster, comments surfaced without editorial. Just the facts, printed cold. Hot 97 leads with Jaidyn's reaction. That's the choice. Not the pregnancy. Not the ring. The baby mama's face. Because the story that sells to their audience is the triangle, not the couple. And then you got the fan camp reading, which is loud in the comments under Press Play's clip. This is different. She's actually good for him. He's finally healed. Let me steelman that one for a second, because I don't want to be the cynic on autopilot. It's a fair read. She is different in the sense that she's not from the industry. She's not a rapper. She's not chasing a cosign. She's already got kids. She seems to genuinely find him funny. There's a version of this where a man leaves prison, meets somebody outside the circus, and actually settles down. That version exists. I've seen it happen. I want it to happen for the kid coming. But then I go back to the tape and I hear co-host, but not permanent. And she'd sign the prenup because she'd be happy to be married like she's supposed to be. And I remember the last engagement was announced in an NFL game to a woman he's known since high school, and it still didn't survive a fiscal quarter. And I gotta be honest, the pattern isn't the woman. The pattern is the announcement. He doesn't propose to build. He proposes to broadcast. Here's what the timelines and the tabloids won't quite say out loud. So I'ma say it, and y'all can fight me on it. This isn't a love story. This is a content strategy under duress. Follow the money for a second. Twitch banned. Music revenue. His catalog hasn't dropped a hit in a stretch that would embarrass most rappers. Boxing promotions. Inconsistent. He's got at least 4 kids across 3 women now. 1 still in gestation. Child support with Jaidyn is publicly $10,000 a month, per the Dallas Global Clip, and reportedly, there was an $11,000 payment to his 9-year-old son Javon recently, per My Mixtapez on IG. The math is closing in. What does a man in that math do? He does what every algorithm-fluent artist has learned to do since 2020. He serializes his life. Ring shopping is episode 1. Lie detector is episode 2. Wedding announcement is the season finale. Pregnancy is the spin-off. Every plot point is a monetizable stream. A clip that hits Shade Room, a headline that keeps him in the algorithm long enough to sell out the next boxing card, the next merch drop, the next paid live stream on whatever platform hasn't banned him yet. And I'm not mad at the strategy. I'm calling it what it is. Because look, a golden goose isn't a term of endearment. It's a business asset. Watch that phrase again. He didn't call her his soulmate. He called her the thing that lays the eggs. Nevaeh, if you're reading, and I say this with love, the man told you on stream, in front of chat, that you'd sign the prenup because you'd be happy to be married. That's not a joke. That's a negotiating posture disguised as banter. And when he pivoted to "you're only with me for the money," 2 days later, on the same platform, that wasn't a mood swing. That was him doing your background check on livestream and making sure you knew you were being watched. Fan camp will say, "I'm being harsh." I'll take that. But everybody who told y'all Chrisean was different got humbled. Everybody who told y'all Jaidyn was permanent got humbled. Pattern recognition isn't cynicism. It's homework. And the homework says, the ring is real. The feelings might even be real, but the timing is a business decision. All right, where does this land? Path 1, the loud one, the one that fills 3 months of content. An engagement gets announced formally, probably on stream, probably tied to a boxing card or a music release, probably with a ring visible in a shade room repost. Wedding gets teased for late spring, early summer. Whether it actually happens is a separate question from whether it gets marketed. Watch how the marketing outpaces the paperwork. Don't be shocked if there's a courthouse versus ceremony discrepancy, same way there was with Chrisean. Path 2, the one that flips the table. Nevaeh, post-baby, decides she's not doing the co-host arc. She's got her own Twitch channel now. She's got her own audience. She's got her own kids. The moment she stops being the sidekick and starts being the lead is the moment this relationship enters real turbulence. Because Blueface ecosystem doesn't have room for 2 sons. Watch what happens the first time her stream outnumbers his. That's the fracture point. Path 3, the aftershock 5 years out. This is the one nobody's talking about. In half a decade, the record will show that Blueface, between his mid-20s and early 30s, staged 3 high-profile engagements: Chrisean, Jaidyn, Nevaeh, none of which produced a legal marriage that outlived a news cycle. The cultural residue of that is bigger than one rapper. It'll be studied. It'll be a case study in how the streaming economy incentivizes fake permanence, because engagements print, weddings print, breakups print, pregnancies print, and the actual quiet work of building something never trends. The next generation of artists will either learn from it or repeat it at scale. Right now, the ledger says, repeat. And the opposition, meaning the fan camps still betting this one's real, they're going to find out the same way they found out about the last 2. Not with a bang. With a New Year's Eve interview nobody was watching. If you made it this far, drop a comment and tell me which path you're betting on. I'm reading them tonight. Like the video, hit that bell, subscribe if you're new. The polygraph fallout is dropping soon, and I'ma be all over it. We out.